All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Trophy Club Crime Control and Prevention District Board meeting for November the 19th, 2025. I hereby call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. At this time, I'll take note of the number of members, and we've got a quorum here, so we're good. Our next item is public comments. So we got anybody signed up for public comments?
We do not.
Okay, so thank you, Julie. No public comments. We'll move on to the next item, which is welcome and recognition. Welcome to the new CCPD board members.
Dale Nolan.
We appreciate that you're here.
Yep, that's right.
And departing member Leo Daniels.
There you go.
And
All right, I would like to take a minute and invite Leo up so we can honor him for his 8 years of service on our board.
8 years.
Wow, 8
years. Oh.
Yep. Yes. Leo Daniels served from 2018 to 2025, and he was our past president. So congratulations, and thank you so much for all the things you've done for the town and for the town of Trophy Club. So here's a plaque.
well, we got to get a picture.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Step forward. And
Picture. She's got it. All right. Past president.
You want the new guy too?
here, and they can stand behind. That's perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're almost tall enough to be
I'll
tall.
go be tall.
Standing up here.
All right,
Sorry.
okay. Make sure everybody's in. Yep, that's good. Okay. All right, Leo. Wanna give- Okay.
Okay, get it up on social media right away.
Remember when you had your picture made once?
Thank you.
Thank you, Leah.
With a brownie?
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Leo.
Excellent, President.
Appreciate you coming tonight. We'll talk soon, and
we will.
You're on my note to call for.
Got to do it. Thank you. All right, take care.
Thank you, Leo.
And I would like to introduce our two newest members, Royce Labor, if you want to say anything, or welcome to the board, and Dale Nolan.
Excuse me.
Guys, thank you for
It's
taking the
just-
time to go through the process and join the board. So,
It's just a new term for Royce.
yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry, that's right, I forgot. No, welcome back.
I was just sitting there, what do you mean? I'm
And
new?
Chris, welcome back.
No,
So,
don't
welcome
scare
back.
me. I thought I've been talking to you every time we're here. You have a
I'm-
twin brother?
Yes, so, we still have an opening, so I apologize for that, but welcome back.
There were two different levels. of
You had to go
new.
through it again, too, right? Yeah, so Chris McAllister also is a renewed, so both Chris's have been renewed. So Royce is renewed,
Thank you.
and we have Dale. So this was a big year for us. So and we still have one vacancy. Council is working on that to fill that, so hopefully by the next meeting,
Okay.
we'll have a full board, so,
Great.
great. Mark?
So
thank you.
now you're going to, Chief Arata's going to come up and help us with
Oh, yes.
CCPD Prevention Board training.
Yeah, so every year, the start of the new year, so this is sort of like a new year for us. This is like our first meeting into the new year. So I want to thank you again. As you know, CCPD is a special funded 1/4 cent of the sales tax. The town gets 2 cents out of the sales tax from the state, and out of that 2 cents, we get 1/4 of one of those pennies. So all that money comes to the police department to use for all of our safety and special programs, and you get to oversee that money. So we make recommendations, you guys review and approve the safety programs that we want to fund and move forward with. So it does include things like training, personnel, special programs, equipment, even a new building. We can do all kind of stuff like that. And that's sort of how this building got started, was with CCPD funding and support. So the CCPD worked with council and put up money to help fund the start of this, how this building got built. So that's how we got out of the trailer. So,
I have a question.
Yes,
Didn't
ma'am.
we have to approve this board every 5 years, and then recently it was approved for 20 or something like
yep,
that?
so that's where we are right now. So
Oh.
the town did approve, had it go at its initial approval, was good for 5 years. So we went through our first renewal after our first 5 years and got another 5 years. And then we went ahead and moved to our third which we did a year early, but we went for a 20-year renewal because the town approved it twice, was going to approve it a third time, so the town council decided to extend it for a full 20 years to support the police department.
Wow.
So, and that's why you see this here, and so our next election, it is in 2042. So we got a little bit of time to go. So, the town council, when they made that decision, it was truly to support the town. We do have, you selected for a reason, you were picked here for your specialty and your desire to help the town and the police department. So we're gonna ask you to meet 3 to 4 times a year. We've been meeting 5 to 6 times a year, because what we've added is a workshop for our budget. So we fully understand what the budget's gonna be about and give you an opportunity to go back and consider the things that we've talked about, that we presented, and ideas that you may have, and then we come back and talk at more of an official meeting where we'll start voting on things. So that's why we threw in one of those meetings as a workshop, so, especially around our budget. And if we have a special idea or a special project, we may consider that as an additional meeting. So, but at a minimum, we're doing 3 to 4 meetings a year. So, but over the last several years, it's been 5 to 6. So, we do have 7 board members. Yes, I guess I thank you for that. Any questions so far? Yeah, so.
Who serves as treasurer? Is that,
That's our finance director.
Okay.
So, yeah, so when we get to that position, we have a president, a vice president, a secretary, and a treasurer. Julie serves as our secretary, and our our finance director, April Duvall, serves as our treasurer. So those 2 positions are just automatic.
great.
As we talked about earlier there, each board member is required to have a bond. It looks like you've all done that. When you first signed up, you got with Tammy, we provide you that bond, and you just sign the documentation to have it on board. And performance, you've done all your required reading and signed all your forms, so I appreciate that. We will, actually, the next item is to pick president and vice president and a secretary. Every year, we have to go through that routine, so it just keeps the board fresh, keeps us thinking. So, and it is a 1-year term. So, and your terms are 2-year terms. So that's why we just had a big renewal here. We're just like any other board, we're just like the council. It takes a simple majority to vote to approve an item. So even if we only have 5 people, it's still going to take 4 to get an item passed. So the number doesn't change. The number is always 7. So the vote to approve an item is always going to be 4. So does that make sense? So, like today, we just have 6, but it's still going to take 4, even though the majority, obviously, would be 3, but, so that's how simple that's going to get. So luckily, we've been one of the boards that always has a quorum. A quorum is 4. We can't start a meeting without 4. So that's why I reach out, make sure everybody's aware of the meeting, make sure you're coming, so we don't have a situation where we're sitting here waiting for somebody to show up. So luckily, CCPD has never had that issue, so we've been very fortunate. So thank you for that and the dedication. So again, I'll talk about some of the crime prevention programs. You've all remember the traffic safety, the SRO program, the crime prevention stuff we do at the school, the elderly take-back program. Some of the big things that we work on are all funded by CCPD. Some of the equipment, and this year, in last year's budget, we approved a hiring of a cadet, an overhire. So I'll get to that at the update, but that program is moving forward. So, but that's going to be a big enhancement for us in the future. So, but that's the kind of stuff. There's about 27 programs, maybe a few more. I may have missed one. That you're eligible to approve on top of things like vehicles and buildings, certain types of safety programs. We approve bike safety, golf cart safety, education training. We do the elderly training. We've done 2 trainings at the activity center this year. One was, yes, I think you attended one, and then we just did a youth one for internet safety. So, and we're having pretty good turnout, 15 to 17 people per meeting. So the funding's going to a great resource to help us with that. So we do the home inspections, the safety inspections, the secure business and security inspections. Those types of programs are all supported with this funding. The adoption of the budget, this is a big thing. This is why we have to have those last two meetings and the workshop, which we added, because of the way the budget is actually structured. We tweaked it a little bit from these dates, so we're actually more stringent than the dates we have here, but we have to have it no later than 100 days before we go to final passage and get it to council. But we do a really good job of working our budget early in the year, having it understood, and getting it to council long before the dates. And it requires us posting in the paper, making sure everybody's aware of it, and getting that word out. So that's why, when we added the working group, the work meeting, so we can work
What
through
paper
that.
do they put it in?
We changed it, so it's actually not the Star Telegram. What is it now?
Yeah, I know it's an online.
Yeah, it's an online thing.
paper.
Okay.
So, and the rules are changing
Yeah.
as technology moves forward to where we may not even be putting it in technically a paper type thing. You'll have to publicize it, but not be so stringent. So, because that cost is pretty high.
Yeah.
So, yep, we've never had a problem with this thing. So we've always been a little bit ahead of the game on our budget.
Have we ever approved the budget from our committee and then it did not pass in town council?
We did once, about 7 or 8 years ago. We had one little item the council wanted to talk about, so we had a joint meeting to resolve that.
Okay.
So, and I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's just, I think they wanted to meet the council, the boards, and get it together and see what it'd be like, so. So they called for a joint meeting.
They had a
that's
bunch of new members.
Yep, so it was just, it was,
Well,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
just-
not like a controversial
conflict or
thing. Yeah,
anything,
It
it
was just, hey, let's get them together while we approve this.
That's
So,
great.
Yep, that was, it was before we moved here, so it's at least 8 years ago. It was in the old town hall. So,
Okay.
good question, though. That was, because that's what would happen. If the council objects to the budget, they call it, we have to have a joint meeting with them to approve it, to discuss it. You can either withdraw the item or amend the budget and then send it back to them, so, but it'd be during a joint meeting with council. So, because of this clock that we're talking about here, so.
Yeah.
We've been lucky enough not to have any of those issues, but in case it does happen, we would call a special meeting with the council. So, that's our quick training. Any questions? So, I know you've already done this, and most of you here, but for Dale, when we have a meeting, we have an item to discuss. We'll call for a motion, to make a motion. Somebody will make a motion, somebody will second it. Then we'll have discussion on that item, and then the president will call for a vote on that item, and he'll count the votes, yes or yeas or nays, make that, announce the count, and if it was approved, move forward with it. If not, then it's, but we can do things like table a motion, things like that, so.
When does the fiscal years begin?
October 1st
October.
and September 30th. Yep, so, yeah, so we're in the first quarter, so our next meeting will be next quarter, and that's when we'll start talking about, we'll get a quick update on some of our programs and start talking about any big plans or thoughts we have for the future. And unfortunately, we're very limited on our budget, so we're up to about 460,000. I know the slide said 360, that was the old number. They've actually freed that up. They stuck with that number. Most of you guys remember, our budget has always been 360, 360, 360. Well, it's actually been creeping up. That's why our fund balance has grown so much, because it's been getting almost 400,000. So now it's up to about 420,000 a year. So they've given us the ability to spend 400,000. So our budget this year is about 420,000. So, and we're using that money for that overhire, which is going to help tremendously. Yeah, that worked out really well. But that's why we have almost 100% sitting in reserves. So we can start tapping into that. So even though we tapped in 2 years ago, it still kept going up. So,
That's good.
yeah.
That means
Good.
business is picking up.
Yeah, no, that means tax revenue is coming in, so that's a good thing. So, all right, any questions on that? Any questions? And I'll help walk through on the first couple of meetings, the voting and item discussion and stuff, so I'll back you guys up, so, thank you. Okay, Mark, next thing.
Now we need to consider appointment of the Crime Control Prevention District President, Vice President, and Secretary. We need a
These-
nomination for president.
Sorry, these positions run calendar year, not October to October.
Right, yeah, so they'll run from this meeting to our first meeting next year.
Okay.
So, yes.
Royce, you were going to say something?
I'd like to make a nomination
Okay.
for president. Ms. Christine Udvar-Heiser.
Okay,
You taking note?
I will second that.
All right. So we have the discussion, vote.
Yeah, if there's any discussion about that? Are you willing to do that?
I'm willing.
I'm sorry.
I'm willing. No, I'm willing. Yes.
You're willing
that's
to
fine.
do that? Okay.
That's
There's no
the first
further
question.
discussion, we'll have a vote.
That's always a good question.
Anybody opposed? Everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, it's unanimous.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Madam
Okay.
President.
Now,
It's an
now,
esteemed
now,
position. Thank
now we
you.
need to have one to replace her as the vice president.
I have a nomination. My brother Royce.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I will second that one.
Okay.
And we need to have, if there's any discussion about that?
No.
Okay. Then we need to have a vote on that.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Yes.
Looks like it's unanimous again. And then the other one, which I kind of laugh at because we know Julie's going to be our secretary.
Right.
But we need to nominate her to be secretary.
So moved.
And we need to, now we need to vote on it. Everybody
All in
okay with
favor?
that? All right, that's good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Can we have a
So-
discussion
Thank you,
about
Joe.
that?
Right, well,
I didn't say that.
So
okay.
all three positions are now filled.
Yep.
Now we need to go to the approval of minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move.
Second?
Okay. If there's any further discussion about our minutes from last time? No? Okay, everybody vote on that? We're unanimous on that too. We're good about being unanimous.
Thank you.
The motion is approved. The next thing is the police department update. Chief Arata will come forward and tell us what he needs to tell us.
So, thank you again, CCPD Board. Congratulations on positions, and thank you for doing that. Very good question, asking if people want to do the role. So, as I mentioned, we have a recruit in mind. We're most probably going to make an offer in the next couple of days to a recruit to put them in the academy, most probably starting in January. So we're in a really good position with that. It's taken us a while to get there. We got a bunch of good candidates apply, and I think we may have a good one. So the plan is for a 6-month police academy, and then 4 to 5 months of FTO training would stay on the CCPD, and if there's an open space, we'll move them into that open police officer space. If not, they'll be a police officer anyway. So the plan is that always be an overhire, so if there's a vacancy, that person would then move into that vacancy, and we'll go out and recruit another cadet and put him back in the police academy. So it's a fantastic opportunity. We do have 2 open positions, and are going to soon have a 3rd open position. So there's always, like,
Somebody else moving to more
there's
money?
always somebody looking for something different. So, and this is the first year, or last year was the first year we were actually full for a very long time, where we had a 3.5 month window where we were full. That's pretty unusual for us and any police department, right? People always moving on. So that was a good thing. This year, council had their strategic initiative. Last year was the traffic safety study, which thank you for that and the support we put into that. We're still working on that. We did the workshop presentation with council. 2 of our biggest presentations were about that we don't have a speeding problem in town. We know what the speeds are. We know where people speed, what time they speed. So we've been doing some enforcement on that. But the statistics all came into where we really do a good job on controlling that. But we really went into the golf cart and the scooter, the micro-mobility stuff. So we are going to make some recommendations. We made some recommendations to council on golf carts and putting seatbelts if you're going to have kids. So we're working with the town attorney and preparing a possible ordinance change, and we're going to do a workshop with council on those changes. One would be for the golf cart ordinance to see about adding seatbelts if you're going to have kids. So we're not worried about people on the golf course or golfers using their golf carts, but if you're going to take kids around, have a seatbelt type thing. It's not that expensive to add it to a golf cart, but it really would make a difference.
Well, you have to have them in your car.
Right, kids have to have seatbelts, so that's where we're going with that. And then the micro-mobility study, which a few cities around us, especially Flower Mound's the one we quoted, they've just did a micro ordinance for scooters, electric bikes, and things like that. So we're looking to have an ordinance similar to that, which require helmets for kids under 14, add lighting to your electric scooter if you're going to ride at night, the riding on the sidewalk courtesy and all that stuff, what the rules are, things like that. So we're working on that, and I've talked to the town manager. We'll most probably hold a workshop before we take the ordinance to council to have them consider it as a vote. We'll take it to them as a workshop and see what their feedback is to make sure we get it right. So, because there's a lot going into that, so.
How fast do golf carts go? I mean, can they go as fast?
The old law used to be 20, now it's up to 35.
They can actually go that fast.
They're allowed to go to 35 now.
But do we allow that?
We only allow 30.
Speed limit's 30.
Yep, we only allow
Okay,
30.
so-
But
so-
by the state law, a golf cart used to be restricted to 20.
To
Now
20.
it's up to 35. And it can cross roadways with higher speeds.
And what you see on the streets, I'm sorry, those are not really golf carts.
Yeah, there's a few.
You want to see a
So-
golf cart, go to the club.
Yeah,
Those are ATVs.
yeah. So we're working on that kind of stuff, so that's another little thing.
How about
So-
those little scooters or
Oh,
automatic
man.
bikes or stuff?
Some
How
of those
fast can
things.
they go?
Yeah, and there's 3 different classes of bikes, right?
Oh.
So, and different ones have different speeds, different controls, so different rules. So we're working on all that stuff. But yeah, it's all out there, and we're,
The helmets
Set
have
laws.
really, a couple of weeks ago, a little girl had a collision with a car on the way to school. And her folks posted online, thank goodness she had a helmet.
yes.
Because
Yeah,
if she didn't, she would have really been hurt bad.
Yeah, the lady driving the car didn't see her. She dropped her grandkids off, and the sun was in her eyes, and she just tapped her, so she wasn't really hurt, but
Could've been so
thank goodness she did have his helmet on, and,
Because she went down.
yeah, she did go down, so, yep. So,
Okay.
yeah, we are recruiting for the other vacancies right now, so that's going pretty well. The elderly take-back program is another big thing for the town, this year's initiative. So that's a big project that CCPD supports. We have about 12 to 15 people signed up for that. That's for people with dementia or other illnesses where they may forget where they live. They're capable of getting out and getting around, but they have trouble. And so what we do is we have a system, they can go on the website, put them into our system, put a photograph, and all the information, contact information, who's the best contact for them, and how to get them back into the house. So we have that in our system, similar to what the fire department does for elderly, but we're more of we're gonna take you home. So if we find you out and you're lost, or you have some trouble, we'll make sure you get home safe. So what we're gonna do with that program is enhance that program this year. We're gonna get them IDs that'll have their picture on it with a name, a first name only, and then a barcode on the back, or a QR code on the back, which the officer can scan, and it has all their personal information, what their name is, what's their dog's name, things to calm them down, and then who's their best point of contact, and then where they live. So,
If they remember to wear it.
yes, exactly. So, and it's sort of like, yes, it's one of those things, but we're gonna try to make sure that works, so.
Well, if we have
But-
facial recognition software,
Well,
That's
we're gonna have their photograph in our database anyway, so
Yeah.
we'll be able to look them up. We don't have that many, but we'll try to encourage that. And then on top of that, we're gonna be cross-referencing those people with the fire department's information. So most of the fire department's people are at-home people, but we'll be sharing information to the best ability we can because of, we don't wanna interfere with HIPAA violation stuff, but make those programs work better together.
A quick question. Who would nominate a person like that to be put into the system?
Usually a
But-
family member, a friend, or a
Close.
caretaker. Yep. So, and you'll see that on our website. We have a form. So, and so the other thing is transparency for crime data information and response time stuff. So we're working now, the Flock system has its own dashboard page that's on our website. We have other information. We have a splash page we put out there that has the crime stats on it. They're annually, But what we're going to try to do is make it more real-time. So we're looking to draw in from Mark 43, which is our CAD software, where all of our crime data is reported. The officer's CAD is our computer-aided dispatch system. So we're trying to see if they have a dashboard or how we real-time gather that data so we can put it in. So what we're working with Jill Lynn and her team on the communications side of the house is how to build a website or a page on our website that has crime information, and it has mini dashboards. So you want to click on flock, you want to click on crime stats, you want to click on our annual reporting, our use of force, our pursuits, our injuries, our racial profiling, have that dashboard, things like that, have our policies and procedures. So we're looking to do that. So that's this year's deal, so.
I never realized how important that take-back program was. A few months ago, one of my neighbors who leases a house brought a gentleman to my front door who was lost and didn't know where he was.
Yep,
And he's been living across the street from me for 18 years.
yeah.
And you knew who he was then when he was brought?
Yeah, I knew who he was. He said, I opened the door, he said, oh, I know you, but I don't know where I am.
Yep, it's a
And
big deal.
now, the good news is, his son, who's in Chicago, has got him up there, and he's in a care facility now.
Yes,
For the grace.
But it was going on for 2 years.
yes, we encountered him a lot.
Huh?
We dealt with him a lot,
I know.
yes. So, but
I
that's
did
what the
too.
program, that's why
That
the
wasn't
program
only
works.
time. Sometimes he came
Yep.
without somebody having to bring him to my house.
Right, yes.
And he didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
And he was, all I had to do was turn around and look, there was his house.
But he knew you.
But he didn't recognize
No, they don't recognize.
The program works, and so that's just a short little update. You know, we're ordered our new equipment, we have our new cars coming in the next 2 to 3 months. Of course, then it'll be 4 or 5 months before the equipment in them, but we're also moving forward with getting the covered parking. I have a draft RFP for that. We're gonna most probably be pushing that out here next month to get some pricing in on what that's gonna cost us, because we have money for that.
It's probably gonna be like the fence was, a whole lot less than we thought.
Yes, that would be nice, right?
That would be a nice thing.
So.
But you're talking the entire parking lot for the police?
Of the police department.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start off with that
Yeah.
and see, because we have a set amount of money, and if we don't have enough, we'll peel a piece off. But yes, the full thing is to cover the parking lot and up against the building where most of the activity takes place. So,
So we don't have to have every car damaged by hail, and
yes,
what do you do then?
yeah,
Right.
we spent
That's
almost
good.
150,000 in repairs over the last couple of years.
How much?
150,000.
Wow.
Chief, will that be a hardcover like you
Well,
see over at the Chevy dealership?
Yeah,
kind of soft?
it's gonna be enough to block hail and sunlight and stuff, but not, it depends on what we can afford.
Got it.
But yes, we're gonna ask for all kind of options. Yep. So if we can afford the best, we'll get the best. So, that's pretty much my update. So any questions?
I have a question just on a different topic. If there was ever a very serious storm, tornado through our city, is there a backup? Like, so many people's homes were damaged. Would they go to the school? Would there be a place that we could say, you know, if you need help, we're all at Byron Nelson, or,
It depends on what part of the town it is, but yes.
okay.
So, and that would most probably be our first, most probably one of the middle schools or the elementary school first,
We've
and
had,
Byron Nelson.
Yeah,
we've had houses under construction knocked down from,
Yeah, what, 2009, the
Yeah.
tornado came through here? Yep, took out
didn't hit
the east side of
anybody's
town, the
house,
west side of
but it
town.
hit those under construction.
Yep, came through Roanoke, hit, yep, yeah, the Highlands. Yeah, so we think about that all the time.
okay.
So, yep, and the fire chief is doing a great job. He's revamping our EOC, bringing us up to speed on new technology and stuff like that. So we have an emergency management plan now built in conjunction with Roanoke. So we teamed up with Roanoke. You know, they just opened their brand-new building, police station, over there by their fire station behind the water park. It's beautiful, almost 50,000 square feet, $50 million, state-of-the-art. It's awesome.
I think their idea of doing this little decoration for Christmas coming up on December 6th, I think,
Oh, yeah.
where they invite kids to come and do gingerbread house decorating.
Yep, at the fire
Is
station.
really sweet, because you're getting over there, the parents are getting in there and
Oh, yeah,
seeing what the,
it's a big deal every year.
that's really nice.
Yep.
Have the police department thought about something like that?
No, not yet,
Okay.
so,
Well, I'll tell you one
Got
thing,
a
y'all.
toy
If you
drive.
haven't been to it, you might enjoy
yeah.
the next time we have the little police fire academy that they do here.
Oh, yeah, we just finished one. We
That's
had
very
Fire
12
Academy.
people in the
Citizens
police.
Academy.
Very
Citizens
nice.
Academy. Yep,
Citizens Academy.
yep, yeah, we just did it. We had 12 people, so we just graduated, what, last week? Yep.
And do they come then to TC EVA and, is that for that?
Yeah, that's like the
Yeah, and at
That's
least
the-
It's
three
a
of,
feeding,
three of them joined this last meeting.
Oh, so that's great.
yeah, no, it's
But
good.
it's, to satellite off that, the great thing is, what I think most people don't really comprehend is how, first of all, the quality of the police force that we have, and the quality of the fire department that we have,
Yeah.
and how well they work together.
Together.
I know you've probably heard horror stories about police departments and fire departments butting heads. You don't have that
We hadn't
here.
had that.
I mean, we're truly blessed. And if you get a chance to go to the Citizens Academy, highly recommend.
Compared to what we had when I moved here, it was mainly volunteers for the fire department.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't mention about the update was the drone program. So we're still working on the drone program. I put that on hold until December. The government's going to make a decision in the 2024 National Defense Act, the NDAA. There was a provision that a federal agency, doesn't say which one, will have to evaluate DJI drones, Chinese drones, for their
Yeah, safety.
safety, security, whatever, somebody's got to do it. So that report is due and mandated in December of 2025. So it'll affect how Chinese drones are allowed to be imported or not imported, or parts, or nothing. Nothing could happen. So because we are looking at a Chinese drone, not DJI, it's an Autel. They're actually moving their stuff to Vietnam, the sales guy tells us. But they are basically a Chinese drone. But it has great technology, it's affordable for what we would need. And then they have US drones that we'd have to talk about. So that's why I haven't mentioned that or brought that up, but at our next meeting, we'll talk about that. So, but that's why you haven't seen or heard anything about that yet, so. Then I think that does it for my update, right? Those are my three topics, yes, thank you. Very good, I
Alright.
appreciate you and your time.
Thank you. Any further business that we need to talk about? Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 6:32.
Thank you,
Thank you.
great job.